Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Shirley Talk. I am Mike Mulrooney.
And I'm Kelly Duckworth.
Kelly, good to see you back, looking all tan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kelly's been gone for about 6 months. She was on a vacation on the beach, and she had a good time. So I'm glad you come back all smiles. It's good to see your smile. Hey, we do this every time. Are you a doctor?
Nope.
Nurse?
Nope.
Anything with dealing with the medical profession?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. I wasn't smart enough. I barely got out of college, much less be a doctor. Yeah. So anyway, we bring that up because we want everybody to know that we hate to say this is for entertainment purposes because cancer isn't entertaining, but take the information for what it's worth. If we say something, research it, ask your doctor, and make sure you don't take our advice because we get a little bitter sometimes when we talk about cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, today we got a special guest, Miss Kendall Riddle. Did I say that correctly?
You did say that correctly.
Yeah. And thanks for coming on. We met Kendall and your coworker, counterpart, friend, Candace, a few weeks ago, and it was kind of crazy. And I know the answer to this, but what attracted you to us when we saw you at the Tops event?
Well, you had on your bright blazers, and so we couldn't help but just come over and talk to you all and see what that blazer is all about.
Yeah, it's hilarious. We appreciate that. Yeah, we actually thought people were making fun of us. We walked through there and we saw people kind of pointing in our direction and staring at us and looking. And I guess a couple people came up and asked what it was all about. But we had a great conversation that night. I remember it. So thanks for reaching back out and doing this. This is amazing.
No problem. We love to be involved with other nonprofit organizations. I work for Campblesville University. We're a local university. We have a location in Campbellsville and then other satellite locations, 2 locations here in Louisville. So we just wanted to partner with other nonprofits here in Louisville. And yeah, we couldn't help but stop to talk to you with those bright blazers on.
Yeah, we stick out. So we try to be as friendly as possible because, they are a conversation piece. They get attention and it worked this time. So,
good work.
I didn't, being naive, I know of, there's a lot of universities here in Kentucky. And when we connected over LinkedIn and Facebook after we met you all that night, you talked about an event, and Kelly and I were planning a road trip. We thought we were going to the actual campus at Campbellsville University.
I thought he was going there. I said, I don't think that they would ask us to drive 2 hours away.
Yeah, I'm old. I would stand out on campus anyway. So, but Kelly would probably fit in pretty well. But yeah, so y'all got a couple locations here in Louisville. So is that correct?
Yes. We have one that's off Dixie Highway. And then we have another one that's off Hurstbourne, and that's actually our bigger campus. And we actually have more students in our Louisville locations than we do in our main campus in Campbellsville, Kentucky. We have about 5,000 students here in Louisville right now.
But Campbellsville University, is it a small town where it's at? I mean, do you have any idea what the population is?
I don't know the population, but I know that it takes 10 minutes to get from one end of town to the next. And there's about like 5 stoplights. So
wow. Yeah. We need to ride down there. That'd be a lot of fun to take a road trip.
I think it's by like Green River and stuff.
It is.
We would always pass it going to the lake down there.
Well, there you go. My wife's mom and dad grew up close to Green River.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They've got Robertson Farm out there, and it's a bunch of land. And so yeah, I didn't realize that it was that close to Green River until you just said that. So
I lived there for 4 years,
really?
3 years in school, graduated and lived there for a year after.
So you spent a lot of time on Green River?
I did. Yeah. If there was ever a sunny day, we were out there swimming.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've actually never been on the water there, but I've heard it's gorgeous. We've just been there for family stuff, when they want to go visit their aunts and uncles. So, which isn't a whole lot left in their family, but, so yeah, thanks for picking us. So what are we doing? We're doing a cornhole tournament. Is that correct?
We are. We're throwing a big back to school bash. So it's going to have a cornhole tournament. You pay $10 to enter and you can win $500. So why not try to win $500? We're going to have food trucks and face painting and bouncy houses. And it's just going to be a great event. It's not just for our students, but for the community as well. We want our local businesses to come. And it's just going to be a lot of fun that day. A lot of people don't know that we're actually behind the Home Depot off Hurstbourne. So this is just a great opportunity where you can have people come out and see where we are.
Yeah, we'll be out there in a couple of weeks. We're going to meet and obviously talk a little bit more about the event and just get the lay of the land and figure it out. But have you ever done events like this before? I mean, is this something that is kind of new to you all?
This will be brand new. So I'm actually new to my position. Before I was in international education at Campbellsville. And so I've been there for 3 years. So now that I'm in this role, they kind of want me to put on events. They have somebody who can do this and focus their time on it. And I was on wave 3 a few weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, we're going to have a cornhole tournament. Well, it wasn't in the works until I said that right then.
Sometimes you just got to put it out there.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So I feel like if I said it on wave 3, then my boss kind of has to make it happen.
Well, that's kind of forcing your hand on that. I could see. Yeah. Yeah. I've done that a few times. I'll spout something off, and Kelly said, "Did you really mean that?" I said, "What did I say?" And she'll say, "You said this." I was like, yeah, I guess we have to now. So that's hilarious. But yeah, it seems like it's coming together pretty good. So hopefully a lot of people will sign up. We've been trying to get the word out, and we know quite a few people that play cornhole, and it makes it much easier now that we're not actually going to Campbellsville University, because we thought everybody was going to have to go out there.
No, it's right off Earthborn.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. So we were talking off air a little bit, and you've actually been touched by cancer. Your grandfather that passed away from cancer, I guess, how many years ago was that?
That was in 2012. So it was my junior year of high school.
Okay. Yeah. I was 42 years old at that time. So, yeah, junior year in high school. Were you born yet?
I was like a sophomore.
Okay, so y'all are about
Freshman.
the same age. Yeah, I could be both your dads. That's hilarious. So, we were kind of talking about, it sounded like he was a big part of the community where he lived, and it sounds like people kind of pitched in and possibly helped and made things happen for him. Is that did he struggle quite a bit physically when he found out?
He did. Yeah, it really hit him hard because he was the sole provider for that family. It was just him and my grandma, but he had 4 kids on his side before he was previously married. And then my dad has 3 other siblings. So we had the Riddles are pretty big. He's actually a queen. So we always said that my grandma was the queen of the house.
He's a queen?
Yeah, his last name is Queen. So Dale Queen.
Okay.
Yep. And so whenever they got married, she became the queen of the house, which is nice. But he had a ton of grandkids, loved every single one of us. And he would always be the one that we would ride around on the tractor in the backyard, and he would bring us home ice cream. And when it was a 6-hour drive up there, so we'd get up there at like midnight sometimes, and he would always have piping hot pizza ready for us. He's an awesome man. He was the president of a local car club up in Campfield, Ohio, and every single one of them came out at his funeral. There's about 100 cars, all antique cars that came out, and they did a parade. And yeah, he was a huge part of that community. He mowed the grass for the local high school, and everybody just loved him up there.
I need to ask my father-in-law if he knows who he is. My father-in-law was the president of the local antique car club here in Louisville.
Oh, wow.
And he travels and goes to all the car shows and is a judge. And I bet my father-in-law Chester knows who this guy is, or was, because he's been involved in the antique cars for probably 50, 60 years. But that's crazy. I bet he would know who he is. I'll get his full name off air, and I'll ask him if he knows who he is. Wouldn't that be crazy? How small of a world that would be?
They used to have car events on his own property. He built a big barn in the back of his property where he had 6 antique cars, and they would park them all throughout his yard. It was just, everybody loved to come out and see his cars. They were always pretty. Yeah,
my father-in-law's got a Model A, a Model T, one of those two, or maybe both. I don't know. He's got a bunch old Corvettes and Mustangs, and he's got a barn full. But there's a crew of them here in Louisville. They go to Hershey, Pennsylvania every year for some sort of antique car show that's like the national car show in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And I've never been, but I'd guarantee you he would at least probably know who your grandpa was. I should have asked how old your grandpa was. Seeing how I'm old enough to be your dad, I could probably be the grandpa in this group. You remember how old he was when he passed?
I'm pretty sure he was 85 when he died.
Oh, yeah, I'm not that old. That leaves me out. So I feel a little better about that. So
it makes you feel better. My dad's 65. So
yeah. Okay. Well,
My dad's 78.
Yeah.
So we have that in common.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. Now I'm back into the dad stage, not the grandpa. So was he a big guy? I mean, one of the hardest things for me, and you can probably, but your mom was small anyway. Mm-hmm. But my mom was, tall for a woman, 5'8", 5'9", and very healthy, always did everything herself. And as cancer progressed, watching her whittle away and not even be able to set up was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, he was 6'4" and probably like 190, 200 pounds. He was in really great shape. And so he dwindled down to like 130 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was telling you earlier, he couldn't eat at all. And so my mom had a specifically made homemade chicken noodle soup and would ship it from Louisville to Youngstown, Ohio. And that's all he would eat. And so she would make boxes and boxes and send it up there, and they would store it in the freezer and warm him up a bowl whenever he was ready to eat. And honestly, that's probably why he lasted 6 more months.
Kept protein in him. Yeah, a little bit.
What kind of cancer did he have?
He had stomach cancer.
Okay, I didn't know if I missed that or not.
Yeah. And when he found out, it was stage 4. So it
too late at that point.
It was.
My friend Randy, how we got a little bit tied into the music industry here in Louisville, he had stomach cancer. And the same thing, he was bigger than me. I'm about 6'3". Randy was probably 6'4". At one time, he was 280. When he passed, he was less than 100 pounds. So imagine me being less than, I'm not even close to 100 pounds, but I just imagine the impact that it has on your body, on somebody that is, always been a big, strong person over the years. So it's just horrible to watch. So they had stomach cancer. Did he have to have the stomach removed, or did they treat it, or do you know?
No, I know that he went through chemo, but he refused to do radiation because he didn't want to lose his hair. He was so proud of his head of hair. And
at that age to still have hair is pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm starting to lose mine now. But, Randy was 52, 53, 50. He was in his, I think, 50s to, 84 is a good life, but I don't blame him. I'm not sure I would go through treatments at that point. Yeah. Because, being a big guy and a strong guy and deal with that kind of thing is absolutely horrible, because stomach cancer, Randy couldn't eat anything. We would eat steak and he'd say, "Oh yeah, no problem. Do it. I can handle it." Then he would make fun of us the whole time, picking on the cancer guy because we'd eat steak in front of him. But it's just horrible to watch some big, strong person go downhill so fast.
Especially because he had so many hobbies. So that's when we knew that he started feeling bad whenever he couldn't get out and do what he loved.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it sounds like he did so many things. You take cars away from somebody like that's been around him for so many years. And, it sounded like he was a pretty social person. So to take that away from somebody that likes to be around people has to be horrible. Did the folks up there try and we keep wheelchairs and stuff in our office just for that specific purpose. If somebody wants to go someplace that's sick and can't, we say, "Hey, come get a chair." Somebody can wheel you around. So did, if anybody ever really took him under their wing and tried to help get him to different things?
I know there was a few people in the car club, and then he was an active member in their church up there, and his pastor came and sat by his bed whenever he couldn't get out of bed anymore. And
Yeah, that's pretty cool. My mom grew up Catholic and she went to church every Sunday, and I'll never forget when the priest walked in. It's just such a surreal feeling to see that and have them come in. I think we've talked about this. We watched it and probably have a little bit of PTSD because of it, watching the whole traumatic experience of the whole thing. It's really difficult to watch.
It is.
Did you go up and visit him? Were you able to go up and visit much at all?
I was able to twice a year. So we always try to go up Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend, just because it was a 6-hour drive and I was in high school. Yeah. I was doing cheerleading and I couldn't get away. I would always have to cheer football games on Friday. So it's hard to go up on a weekend when you don't get away until Saturday morning. Yeah. But I definitely tried to visit him as often as I could. And my phone I've had for a year now, but when I got this video back in 2012, I still have a video of him saying that he loves me on my phone, and I will never delete it. It will forever stay on my iCloud. So however many iPhones that I get, it will always be the first video on there. And I watch it at least every year on his birthday in April.
Yeah, that's amazing. When was his birthday? April what?
April 30th.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's a great story. So you're going to share the recipe with us?
Yes, I will. Yeah, I'll get it from Mom. It's honestly pretty easy. It's just plain chicken noodle soup, but she cuts up rotisserie chicken, and that might be the special ingredient.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. That adds the extra flavor to it. So, but yeah, cancer is just it's tough to watch. So, how long did he fight? Do you remember? Was it a year, or did he just say the heck with it, or do you know?
I think he was diagnosed 2 years before. In the first year, it wasn't that bad, but the second year, it got bad. And so, like I said, I think he lasted about 6 more months just because my mom would ship that soup up.
Yeah, try and keep some weight on him as much as possible.
Is your grandma still alive?
She is. Yeah.
Is she up there by herself?
She was actually moved to an assisted living place about a year after he died. Since they had so much property, nobody could go up and take care of it because he would cut all the grass. He loved riding his lawnmower. And so she moved into an assisted living place in 2014, and it's been there ever since.
Gotcha.
So she's in her 90s, I guess.
Yes, she just turned 90 back in October.
Wow. Yeah. So that's crazy. Yeah. My grandmother, she didn't have cancer, but she was one of those that was outside in her yard all the time. Her yard was always immaculate. If her bushes had one little branch go out, she was out there trimming them. I mean, it was a perfect yard, but she lost her eyesight. And to take that away from her and put her in assisted living, it's like putting a caged animal in a cage, an animal in a cage, because they just like to be outside all the time. So I'm sure your grandmother was probably as active as he was. Does she get out much? No, do you know, with the assisted living? Or
Well, ever since COVID, she was barely able to get out of her room. So we didn't even see her for a year and a half. And it was awful. Nobody could go into her room. She couldn't come out of her room. So she's really dwindled away because of COVID and not being able to see anybody other than the nurses. And it's really sad. We don't know if she has dementia now, but she doesn't remember anything. And so my parents will ship her up boxes, and she doesn't remember who sent it to her or even where the stuff is that she's gotten. So it really breaks my heart that I can't get up there and actually see her.
You know, we talk about cancer and we can't understand why they don't have a cure for it. But, you know, that's another one's dementia. You know, that's horrible. I've known people that, and you don't understand how losing your memory can be that bad. You know, if you see people walk in, you can't, but at least your organs are working, but they're really not, because with dementia and some of those mental, is it a mental disease? Memory loss diseases. I was told unless somebody's sitting around, you forget to eat, you forget to do different things. And I don't understand in today's world how diseases like this still exist, because, you know, cancer is horrible, but there's so many other things like dementia that just doesn't make any sense to me. I just can't understand why they can't figure out. And I'm sure it's complicated, but there's some pretty smart people in this world that I would think could come up with something for this. So to be sitting in a room not knowing anybody has got to be scary for her.
Right. So my granddaddy on my mom's side, he died of Alzheimer's in 2014. So I go back and forth which disease I think that is the worst, because at least with my Papa Dale, we had him until the very last day that he died. My granddaddy, though, I didn't really know him my entire life. Like, I had him until I was 18, 19 years old, but half my life he was sick and I didn't realize it when I was little. Like, he didn't remember anything. So would I rather have somebody that I have their personality their entire life and I get to know them, but they're suffering? Or do I have somebody that doesn't know they're suffering, but I don't actually know their personality? So that's something I struggle with going back and forth, because I had some awesome grandparents and I didn't really get to know my granddaddy that much, but my Papa Dale, he was awesome. But the last 2 years of his life, it was just rough.
I love what you said, granddaddy. Where are you from? You're not from Louisville, are you?
I am from Louisville,
Are you
actually,
really?
yes. My mom's from Taylorsville, Kentucky.
No, that's borderline. So. You know, you hear folks in the outerline counties and granddaddy and grand and stuff. It's I love to hear, especially girls call their dads daddy. I love that. So.
I still call my dad daddy.
Yeah. I love that. My middle daughter does that sometimes. My oldest daughter don't, just to spite me, I think sometimes. But,
wait till they start calling you Mike.
Yeah, no, they will. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, my grandpa died from cancer, but it was a long time ago. But like you said, you wish you'd gotten to know them a little better because of that. But, you know, I remember sitting in a smoke-filled room because they all smoked, but, you know, sitting there listening to stories of people like that is pretty amazing. You know, he was from World War II in the Philippines, and sometimes he would tell unbelievable stories of different things that he had seen over his lifetime. And we don't have that a lot. You don't see that much. So yeah, it's you have grandparents, keep them around and be around as much as possible, I guess, is a good message.
Definitely. Yes.
So well, anyway, thanks so much for coming in today. And as far as the cornhole tournament, I should know this, but is there a way for people to sign up online, or is it pay when they get there? Or how does that work?
Yes. So we actually have flyers that we're posting around, and we are posting them on social media as well. So if they want to contact me directly, they can do that. My email is KERiddle@campbellsville.edu. I can send you all the information to sign up. We would like to have everybody signed up by July 21st, because we like to get t-shirts and have everybody's logo on the t-shirts, especially if they're going to be a sponsor. And we would like to have the events from 11 to 3 on Friday, August 6th. So it's during the day. Even if you can't come to play cornhole, we'd love to have people come out and eat at the food trucks and just spend the afternoon with us. But we'd like to have everybody who's in the tournament be there at 10:15 so we can get registration done.
Well, we're excited about it, and thanks for picking us. We look forward to a partnership. I
Yes.
just, it's a lot of fun to meet new people and do different things. Kelly's been wanting to do a cornhole tournament for a while.
I'm
We
so
just,
excited.
yeah, so she's gonna bring her ringer friends to.
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll get the word out. We'll spread the flyer on social media, and we'll get it out there, and hopefully we'll have a bunch of people sign. Is this blind draw? Did we ever discuss if it's blind draw or you bring your partner or what? Do you know?
You can sign up with a partner. If you do not have a partner, we will assign a partner to you,
Okay.
and then we will be drawing for team matchups as well.
Perfect.
The morning of.
Well, y'all got it under control, and we're
Yeah.
excited about it. So thanks for coming in today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks. We still need cornhole boards. So if you know anybody with cornhole boards, bring them on in. We'd love to have them. Or we have cornhole board sponsors. So not only can you bring your board in, but you can get your name on the board as well.
That'd be
Oh,
kind of
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, to see people have some made and have their sponsor logos put on them. So yeah, we might see if we can have a couple with our logo put on it, at least one set. So I don't know if somebody can turn them around now. Well, they're as expensive as wood is these days. It might cost us $500.
No
So.
kidding. Good gosh.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
for having me.
It's a great discussion. Kelly, how can people help Shirley's Way if they want to help us out?
You can go to our website at shirleysway.org. Since we're halfway through 2021, which is crazy, we're still pushing for $1,010 monthly donors. So you all do the math. That's $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year, and that could help out a lot of people in our community. But go to our website, shirleysway.org. Check out our 3 raffles we have going on: Queen of Hearts Live.org, JokersWildLive.org, and Wheel of Cash Live.org.
Yeah, we're if you're not familiar with Shirley's Way, look us up, shirleysway.org. We don't give money to cancer research or anything like that. We give it back to the community in the form of rent, mortgage, food, prescription drugs, things like that. So check us out. And we've given away over $1 million. So go sign up to be a $10 monthly donor, please, at shirleysway.org. We'd love to have you join the team, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.